if this isn't in your nightmares after watching this, you didn't watch it right. Come on now. Come on now, you know I had to do this video. Squid Game is literally everywhere. Everywhere I go, I cannot stop without seeing a Squid Game meme or Squid Game talk. Even the radio, are you kidding me? So what's all the hype about? Like, is it really like this beautiful, like breathtaking, cinematic, jaw-dropping experience that it's made out to be? Well, kind of. We'll get into it in a second. First, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about it. You know, Squid Game is just this dad, kind of a deadbeat. You know, lives with his mother, and he's in a lot of debt because of his gambling addictions. One day, he gets approached by this stranger that offers him 100,000 won for playing a game. Very simple game where you flip a card and throw it on the floor. And he's like, yes, I'll take it. And then he's like, but if you lose, I win 100,000 won. And of course, being the addictive gambler, he's like, oh, I just need to win once. And then, boom, easy money. And then you just walk away. 100,000 won, which is the equivalent of $10,000, I think. So yeah. So obviously, the person doing the game is not stupid, and he wins the first one. And he's like, yeah, I don't have the money, obviously. And he's like, oh, don't worry, you know, how about I just give you like a slap in the face, okay? But then, you know, it continues and continues, and then eventually he wins. And then he's trying to slap him in the face because he got slapped like 30 times. And then he's like, stops him, and he's like, wait, what? Let me slap you. And he's like, here, 100,000 won. And he's like, oh yeah. But no, there's a point to all this. The reason I was saying all this, and this isn't really spoiling too much because it's literally in the first episode, and it's literally near the beginning, so giving you it fine, like the minusculest spoil, okay, whatever. But then, you know, he gets a card, and it's like, if you want to win more, why don't you come to this place? And that's the Squid Game. He doesn't know yet. So, as probably everywhere on the internet has told you already, and if you really don't want to know, I guess I give a little like mini spoiler alert that has been like, but it's probably the reason you'd come to watch it. It's a thing where you're playing kids games, but if you lose, you die. And it is very interesting because we need to get into, first of all, most of the pros and cons. Now, one of the things that makes this movie actually one of the things that make this series, it's a 9-episode series, really good, is that you just really feel like you get to see the human greed, like, full prevalence. This isn't one of those, like, trap movies where it's like, oh my gosh, you're stuck in here and you have to play or you die. Like, no. They really show, like, how, even if they're like, okay, you want to leave? Okay, go ahead. Really, it was really surprising, and I was like, when they were doing, like, a voting scene, I was just like, you know, they have, like, multiple voting scenes, obviously, in the movie, because that's one of the clauses. There's, like, 3 rules for the Squid Games. So, in the clause of the contract that they all signed, 1 is a player who is not allowed to stop playing. 2 is a player who refuses to play is eliminated. And obviously, when they think eliminated at the time, they just think like eliminated, like they lose the game, which is literal. The thing is with the clause 3 is if you can stop playing the games, if you can get a majority vote. So if you can get a majority of the people to say I want out and when we're done, then they stop the games. Which I think really adds a very interesting twist, because usually in these types of, I keep saying movies, and the reason I keep saying, like, catching myself and saying movies is because it feels like a movie. Like, when you're watching, it's 9 episodes, but it really just feels like one whole movie. It just meshes so well into each other. So yeah, majority can stop the games. And then that's it, you go home and leave. Like, it's literally that simple, and if you watch it, you'll understand how simple it is. Like, it really shows that it's, like, the self-destructive nature of people. And, like, what they will do for, like, greed, or even, like, a better life. Because not everyone, I think, is for greed, honestly. Now, but the thing is, that's another thing. We're gonna go to a con now. They really try to push a political message. They're trying to like force it a little bit. It's not really a political show, which I really enjoy. I really enjoy shows that are not that political because I don't really think they should be. Maybe sprinkled in if you really want to. But there was one question posed that I was like, are you kidding me? I had to pause the video because I was like laughing. Because there was a North Korean like refugee that came because this is shot in Korea. So they literally asked her a question. It's like, oh, do you think like it was worth it to come from North Korea to South Korea? And she doesn't answer. What does that mean? Are you actually gonna tell me that North Korea, where they literally like abuse people on the daily, is even comparable? Or like you have to think about it if it's worse or better than South Korea. I understand you get it dealt a bad hand if you're like poor and you're like have nothing, but like you can't compare to literally like an authoritarian and communist regime where it's like they abuse you if you talk bad about the government. You literally can't watch certain types of media. Like, really? Come on. This is South. I can't believe that South Korea like would hate on itself so much. That doesn't even make sense. Like, the North Koreans could use this and be like, see, not even the South Koreans like the South Korea. Stay in North Korea. Now, in reality, the acting was like really good. Except the VIPs, of course. The VIPs were so stereotypically weird. Like, oh my, I wonder what they're gonna do next. This is so much fun. Like, oh my gosh. And I'm pretty sure they're being roasted for their acting, like, right now, even though you couldn't even see their faces much. I liked the villains in the games. I did not, and I'm not gonna spoil, I did not really like some characters, like, some twists. Some of the twists were like I don't know, they were just like, they didn't really work. Like, obviously, don't get me wrong, some twists was great. Like, I was like, what? They're actually, I was like, there's some parts in the movie I was like, yeah, you know, yeah, this is gonna happen. It's so obvious, like, always like this. And I was like, what? What? It didn't happen? How are they gonna fix that? Because this is they just entered like a plot hole. But they entered plot holes and covered it up really well to make it like there was no plot hole. Because usually in movies you have to do a certain path in order to get a good movie, but they were able to subvert the plot and basically like go off course, but put it in a way where it's still on course, which is really good. And I guess we shifted a little bit already to the plot. Honestly, the plot is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, I didn't like the ending. I did not like the ending. Honestly, it was really like, for how good the rest of the series was, like the ending was really kind of bad. It was kind of bad. So, but I mean, like, don't not watch it just because the ending was bad. Like, it's like it pulls it together, but like it just wasn't good. Like, that was like the worst part of the entire show, the ending. And it's a little bit slow at the beginning. Not really. Some people were like, oh my gosh, I watched the first like 2 episodes, like, and I couldn't even get in. And yes, it is true that like episode 6 is beautiful. It was like perfect. It's like, I think it's episode 6. And if it's not episode 6, you'll know which episode it is. I don't have to tell you like which one. It's just around episode 6, I think. It's literally like beautiful. I'm like crying. Like, I can't. But, you know, there's another thing though, and there's a big thing that makes it a little difficult. It's like the dubbing and subbing. Obviously, I don't speak Korean. I mean, I could, but I don't speak Korean. And like, so I feel like some of the translations sound dumb. Like, there's some sentences that I'm reading, and I'm like, one, the dub doesn't match. Like, literally in the subtitles, it says something, because I watched it with English subtitles and English dubbed, just because I heard about the issues. So I wanted 2 sources. But subtitles say something sometimes, and then they speak something like completely different, a completely different sentence. It's like, how? How is this such a discrepancy? Like, it doesn't make sense at all. Like, I don't understand how they could like translate it so bad in either the dub or the sub, because I don't really know which one's right because I don't speak Korean. I just know that a lot of Koreans were mad that the English dub and sub didn't save some of the things, like, and change some of the meanings of some of the things that were said. Honestly, it was really enjoyable. I know this score might sound a little low from how much praise I'm giving it. It's 7.5 out of 10, honestly. This series is 7.5 out of 10. Pretty solid. It's just that the ending is too bad. It sucks. It sucks, the ending. The ending sucks, and I understand it doesn't drag down the whole series. There are other things. There's just a few things here and there they could have done better, and of course, just the strength of the plot overall. It's not like breathtaking. It's good, just not like breathtaking, like something higher, like an 8, 9, or 10 would give you. Like you're still on the edge of your seat, still one perfect episode, but it's just good. It's just a good show to watch. That's all I can say. We're gonna be doing some more movies on this channel. I'm gonna shift away from Wallix for a small bit, to give myself a break. Write in the comments what you think about Squid Game, and I'll see you in the next one.